episode 148 of the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast. Woo! Wow.
We got an extra cheer there, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have a full house today. You have me, Jason, with Concealment Solutions.
Me, Taco.
Cindy with the Utah State Director of the DC Project.
And Rael with the DC Project.
And John, I'm the designated driver.
Because you need a designated driver after sitting through one of these.
Absolutely.
Anyway, awesome. Obviously, our guests are our subject today, so we'll dive into what they're here for later. But let's knock out some sponsors real quick.
NOEBulletMolds.com. Use coupon code FLT001 and it'll save you 10%. And I will say he still has one Dillon 750 press in stock.
Wow.
I took the other one. So that makes
So how many of those
that makes
do you
number
have now?
3.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So I've been
You're gonna have to add on to your house soon, just for the loading room.
We're doing a few trades to make the cost a little bit lower.
Nice.
But
Okay.
yeah, so NOEBulletMolds.com, the finest bullet molds around and reloading equipment.
It's true.
UtahAirguns.com,
Yeah.
they sell the best air guns.
Good stuff. If you're not shooting air guns, do any of you guys have air guns?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you have?
Oh, when I say I have one, I mean my husband has one.
That's okay.
So
It's
I
in the
don't really
house.
know.
Oh, all right.
I don't shoot it because I'm not a
You
hunter, but
You should. They're so much fun.
we have shot pot guts with it.
Okay.
That's about as far as they've
Yes,
gone.
we have two. Because you can take air guns in places that sometimes you cannot carry real guns.
A actual firearm.
Yes, yeah. We laid waste to a bunch of those ground squirrels at a private campground where firearms were prohibited. So,
But they had a ground squirrel problem.
yes, everywhere.
Yeah.
So, UtahAirguns.com.
They doing a giveaway. A Zeus 72 cal.
What?
Yeah. I signed up for it. I don't normally go in for the giveaways and stuff.
Do you just have to do you have to buy anything, or is it just
No, it's on Instagram. Look them up on Instagram.
Oh.
Yeah, you could win a Zeus 72 cal air gun.
Ooh,
That's the
big one.
That's the biggest one. Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, go check them out at UtahAirguns.com. Use the code AirCandy when you check out, and you'll get free shipping and free turret stickers.
All right, mag holder.
Oh, mag holder?
Yeah,
We're going mag holder?
we did them last time. So,
Oh, okay.
Magholder.com, the best mag carriers,
Horizontal mag carriers, super comfy for all day carry. Use the code Get in the Van I Have Candy, and you'll save like 22%. Some weird
Something like
number
that.
like that. Yeah, and then
Black Ice Coatings.
BlackIceCoatings.com. You guys know Black Ice Coatings?
Yes.
Good stuff, huh? See, we didn't even prep them for this, but they are using black ice because they know what good stuff is. But yeah, good gun finishes, coatings, Teflon, and not just for your guns. They do lots of cool stuff. Go check them out. Call them up. Tell them you want it slickery. And Concealment Solutions at concealmentsolutions.com. Hopefully, we have become your one-stop holster shop. But if not, we're doing custom stuff every day also. So go check us out.
Check them out.
Go check them out. Use the code SHOWMETHECANDY and you save 15%. And that's our sponsors.
Wow, that was fast.
That was.
Normally they take a little bit longer.
They're going, what? That was fast?
All right,
Okay.
we have a little bit of listener feedback. This one is from Dave W. And the title of this was Save for When Stan. Because I guess we always say that. and
We'll
then-
save that one for when Stan's here.
Yeah, and then we don't end up getting
Then
around
Stan
to it.
never shows
'Cause Stan
up.
doesn't come. So Dave W. says, Taco. This is like me speaking with quotes. I think I'm going to save that for when Stan can come on. Stan is in assisted living. He has all the time in the world. Come on, Stan. Stroll in around dinner, 4 p.m. There's a good bit of walker traffic at that time. Walk out with Stan unnoticed to the recording studio. You can have him back by sundown
Yeah.
at 7:30
It's a
p.m.
good point.
All right, so Stan, I guess we'll have to go pick you up at the
The assisted
assisted
living.
living. I didn't know they allowed assisted living people to drive for UPS still,
Apparently.
but apparently so.
Well, the Milky Eye hasn't made him have to get a new job or anything, so.
Thanks, Dave W.
Okay, are we jumping right into a news story?
Yes.
And now, the news.
This one, a group of Indiana apartment residents beat up a would-be robber and kept him in custody using their own firearms until authorities could arrest him. Kokomo police reported that Merrill Tyler, 18, received multiple facial injuries when he broke into the annex of Kokomo Apartments on Thursday at 3:25 a.m. Police responded quickly, but arrived to find Tyler beaten up and held at gunpoint. Thanks to the actions of 3 men who had been inside the first apartment he had entered. So apparently he went into more than one apartment.
Oh, jeez.
The men told police that Tyler had entered the apartment wearing a ski mask and pointed a gun at them. They jumped him, knocking away the gun and pinning him down. Tyler pulled a second gun. That's a prepared bad guy right
Wow.
Yeah, he is.
there. He pulled a second gun that went off but did not injure anyone. One of the men grabbed his own gun and used it to subdue Tyler until police could arrive. Tyler and the residents received multiple facial injuries, but only Tyler required immediate medical attention. Police took him to the hospital before taking him to the Howard County Criminal Justice Center for holding, and he was later arrested on burglary charge, which is a level 2 felony. And we have a picture of poor Tyler.
Oh, jeez.
He did not fare very well. I think he's lucky the police responded quickly, because he's probably unrecognizable by his mother in this picture.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
you know, if you choose a stupid occupation, you
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Now, I have a couple products I want to discuss.
All right. What you got?
As part of our news, this drew my attention. It's the RTS Tactical Bulletproof Memory Foam Pillow.
Memory foam.
It's
Memory foam.
pillow. It's a tactical pillow. So it has a level 3A plus rated ballistic shield inside of it. Now, this was tested in this article that I was reading. It was tested at 7 yards with multiple 9mm rounds, 12 gauge double-aught buckshot, and 12 gauge 1 ounce lead slugs, and it stopped all of them
At 7 yards?
at 7 yards.
Wow. So what would be the use of that? Would you...
You hold it in front
face
of
when
you.
they're
Yeah,
coming at
someone
you?
kicks
Yeah.
in your door, you pick up the pillow and hold it in front of you?
Or if you're in bed and they surprise you, I don't know.
Now you have a shield.
Yeah, it is a little bit
Costly?
cost prohibitive at $500.
Ugh.
I don't know what does a good ballistic vest cost these days. I know they're more than that, but
I don't know. The one I bought was only like
Yeah,
150, so it's probably
Because
not
you're-
super great.
Yeah, it depends if you're getting like the Kevlar or if you're getting,
Yeah.
like,
if you're getting
the plates.
Mine is
plate
plates,
carrier.
not Kevlar.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah.
different. That wasn't $100 with the plates though, was it?
It was because I got on Black Friday.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was a good
you
deal.
got a
It was like
screaming
150.
deal.
Yeah, it was a screaming deal. But
Yeah.
they're really small, made for little people, and
Yeah.
I'm guessing they don't sell as
Okay.
many as they'd like, so they
There you go.
Black Friday'd it.
Anyway, I thought it was interesting. At first, I was bypassing the article entirely because I'm like, that's stupid. And then I got reading it and saw the tests that they did on it. And went, okay, that's now. I don't know. They didn't say how well it sleeps.
His memory
it
foam, I
might
don't
be
know.
like laying on a brick. I don't know.
Well, I'm wondering, did it say what the weight was?
They do not list a weight on the pillow. Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be a bit heavier.
Do you
So
have
no using that in pillow fights, huh?
Only if you want to win. It says a bamboo cotton pillow cover is available at an additional charge.
Wow.
So, the other thing that I wanted to mention, because we kind of talked about both these things last week, but not together. Palmetto State Armory, you're really liking your dagger. Are you guys familiar with the dagger pistol from Palmetto?
No.
It's a Glock clone,
Glock 19 size.
$300.
Okay.
Wow.
He's got one, absolutely loves it, has about, 700-800 rounds
Yeah,
through it
about
without a
800.
hiccup. For $300.
All right.
So you're basically getting a Glock clone for $300. Mine came with
You had
it was
the
optics
threaded
ready,
grip,
so
yeah.
it was machined for
Threaded barrel,
and it
optic
came with
ready, and
Really?
a threaded
So
barrel,
threaded barrel
and
for
suppressor height
$300?
sights.
it's a little bit more with
Okay.
that. What
So
did you-
mine was like $300.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you must have got it on
I got it
sale
on one
or
of
something.
the sales, but they still like it's
Yeah.
always around that price of like $300 or like $325, $350.
Yeah.
Depending on, but yeah, I got all those things for like $300.
Yeah.
That's
Screaming
crazy.
deal. And
Yeah.
then
The ergonomics are better than
Yeah.
the regular Glocks.
I would agree. And then I came across this that talks about the Palmetto State Armory 5.7 Rock. So they do a 5.7 by 28 chambered handgun as well, which we were talking about. The Ruger
The
has
Ruger
their
5.7
carbine
or
now as
57.
well as their pistol, and it looks more like the Ruger than it does the FN.
Well, thank goodness.
which is a good thing.
The FN is pretty. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
the FN is hideous.
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys have one or not, but
I don't care if you have
I do,
one.
but I do agree.
Still ugly.
It's not my favorite, so.
Anyway, $500, and I got on Palmetto to look them up, and they have them threaded barrels, optic ready, suppressor sights for a little bit more and everything. For $529, you can get one that comes with 10 magazines and a
geez.
case.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I was like, dang, that is...
Have you been to their location before?
No, I haven't. In California? Is that where they are?
No,
No.
they're in.
Where are they?
They're
They're not
in
gonna be in
South
California.
They're in South Carolina.
Why did I think they're in California?
I don't know because
That doesn't make sense
No,
that I would think
no,
that,
no.
but
they couldn't make half the
that's
guns
true.
that they make.
True.
If it's California.
So, South Carolina?
So I've been to their gun range.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Do you want to know what they do well?
Okay.
They do heated toilet seats in the winter.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Does it have a bidet with heated water also?
There was not a bidet, but it was just heated. I was like, I'm just going to sit here for a little bit longer.
That's awesome. Palmetto's, they've been doing stuff right though. Like
Yeah.
they've been coming out with new things that are very good. They work well. So I've in the last year, I think I've picked up, let's see, the Dagger, the handgun. I picked up their little AKV, the little 9mm AK, and then the ARV, which uses those same Scorpion style mags.
Uh-huh.
And it looks like it's like an AR, but it had the furniture, so it looked like an MP5.
Okay.
And I also got the AK 5.56. It's a AK that takes AR-15 mags. And
He had a Palmetto binge.
there was yeah, it was bad. And then their piston gun, what was it? The Jackal. I picked up that. We probably put close to about 400 or 500 rounds through that,
Yeah.
and flawless.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, Palmetto does some good stuff. The one thing I was thinking was I was going through their pistols and everything. There's 19 pages just for the Dagger. And
They have that many options?
Yeah, but they're not all the pistol. It's triggers, it's all the internal parts, it's slides, it's barrels, and I'm thinking Lone Wolf is going to be in trouble
Oh yeah.
because I think this stuff that they're doing is a little it's cleaner. It's not as a lot of the Lone Wolf stuff is just kind of out there, kind of more crazy and radical, I think, and the Dagger is a little more mainstream feeling and looking, and it's way cheaper.
Yeah. They even have them at Gunny's.
Oh, do they? They're
Yeah.
selling the Daggers?
They have some daggers. They have the Dagger lowers.
Oh, yeah.
And-
$100 for a Dagger lower.
Yeah. There's
That's
like
complete with the trigger, everything.
yeah, they had
It's
some
like,
fancy
holy
ones
crap.
at Gunny's that have the was it the Zev trigger or something?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I felt that trigger and it felt weird to me.
Yeah.
Like
I
there's-
like it.
You like it?
I don't know about on the AR, but on like the one they have for the Glock,
yeah, it's
I really
the-
like it. Yeah.
That first part, with the little blade that sticks out.
Safety.
Yeah, that had I don't know. To me, it just felt weird. It was like a springy, a little bit too much spring power. I don't know, but anyways.
Yeah.
How was the trigger reset?
I think it was really good. But it was that initial, like, putting my
Yeah.
hand on the trigger. It just felt weird to me.
It probably wouldn't feel as weird after you put a few rounds through.
Oh,
on it.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we have for the news. Let's do what we did with guns this week.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
I can go first. So, I built a holster. No, this one I posted it on my social media, so if you want, you can go look at it. I referred to it as the Franken holster. This thing, custom built for a guy who wants to do the tactical games that you were talking about?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's his goal. Okay, he has a CZ75 compact, which I'm like, not the gun I would have chosen for that, but if that's what you got, run it. You know.
That'd be really rough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what he has, but he wanted a mechanical retention on it,
Yeah.
which I don't do. But I have done some in the past, but that's not something that I typically offer. So I told him, okay, what I've done for my 3-gun guys in the past that, you know, are bringing me these total crazy open 2011 guns that are one-offs. Race guns. I send them to go buy a Safariland holster that has the GLS locking mechanism, retention device in it. So they go spend $50 on that, bring it to me. I pull it apart and I pull that lock out and I throw everything in the garbage after that. And I build the holster around that. And so I said I can do that for you, and so that's what I did. It was a little bit different than the way I'd done them in the past because it wasn't an open gun. I actually had a mold that I could of the gun that I could use and everything. So double layered Kydex construction with that lock in it, and then we put it on a G-code drop system. So yeah, 3 different holster manufacturers to make one holster. Turned out really, really good. I mean, it's amazing. He drove over 2 hours to come to me. And literally, he came in and saw it, and he was dropping stuff. He was shaking. He was so excited for this holster. So I thought that was really cool. He's really happy, and I think I'm at a point now where if somebody called me and said, "Hey, I've got a 1911 or I've got a SIG 320 or whatever, and I want to have that type of thing with the lock in it," I can do that. It was the first production gun I've ever done that with. It was always these open guns that are totally crazy, and every one of them is different. So I'm confident now that I can run with that, and and these guys have asked me before for well, can you make an offset drop and this and that? And I'm like, well, what are you using now? This is what I'm using, the Safariland, or I'm using the G-code, and I really like it. I'm like, well, let me just build it so you can screw your hanger onto it and you can keep using what you're using. Why do I need to reinvent the wheel for you? So anyway, that was cool. That's about the only exciting thing I've done with guns other than just banging out a whole lot of the same old stuff.
All right. So I've been busy reloading, pulling the handle on that the Dillons, and so I've loaded about 800 rounds of subsonic 9mm, and then I've loaded up also just today and yesterday. I was working on some jacketed 357 Magnum, and so I did some 158 grain loads, and those are going to go in my kind of longer term storage. And
they're going to go on the back shelf?
They go on the back shelf. And I just kind of got low-ish on 357, so I decided to go nuts and load
I
up a
probably
bunch.
should load some 357 now that I have one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I did some casting, and I cast up some, I think they were 158 grain hollow points.
Yeah.
So coated cast hollow points.
Okay.
And so those are going to be next after I finish getting rid of all those jacketed bullets. So I did that. I also built worked on his AR-10.
Oh, yeah.
And I put in one of those CMC, I don't know, it was like a 2-pound or 2.5-pound trigger.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah?
Yeah. But not something you'd want for a...
Not a self-defense
Not
gun.
a self-defense gun. You might accidentally set that off.
Yeah.
So,
Huh.
yeah, you just It takes very
I
little
don't know
to
that you
set
need
it
a
off.
308 for a home defense gun anyway.
Yeah. Probably not.
Ray, I was
Michael's
going,
really
not
I
a
can
good
think of
idea.
why you might.
I don't want it to go through my neighbor's house though. So.
Yeah. For my son's science project, was it last year? Or was it
I think so.
Yeah,
It was
last
last
year.
year.
We did, we built these fake wall panels. And so we just got some 2x4s and sheetrock, put them together, no insulation, and then we lined them up, and then we shot various calibers through them, and to see which would be, ideal for home defense. And it was quite surprising how many walls they go through.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. Surprisingly, 5.56 or 223
It's one of the best.
was
Yeah.
a better one, but it was more like random. So on one of them, it penetrated quite a bit, and then on the other one, it didn't penetrate very much. So
Yeah.
it's just how it tumbles.
It's all on how it tumbles, yeah,
Yeah.
after it starts hitting stuff.
So, anyways, yeah.
Cool. All right. What'd you do
Well-
with guns, Cindy?
We played with ghosts.
Ghost?
Yeah, I took milk jugs and we turned them into ghosts.
Okay.
They were empty, hung them by a string at the range, and we shot at them, and it was a really good learning experience.
Okay.
We were able to see the entry points and the exit points. It was not paper target, it was round, so that way you could see when the body would, or the jug would move, it'd be like the body was moving, and so
They were empty hanging?
they were empty
Okay.
hanging.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you could work on your follow-up shots, and if it turned around, you were able to practice whether you were going to shoot it in the back or not as it's leaving.
Interesting. I have never thought of doing that before.
I always fill them up with water and just
Yeah.
explode.
make them explode the best I can. It's always a good test for a new hollow point or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's cool.
This was just an exercise we taught the ladies and gave them a couple different concepts to look at.
Cool.
Where'd you hang them from?
From the range, from the target rack.
Oh,
They're at an indoor.
Yeah. Oh,
range.
indoor range,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We
Interesting.
don't shoot inside very much.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rail?
So I didn't shoot anything, but my son started. He's on the Skyline X shooting team in Spanish Fork, which is trap and skeet.
Oh,
So and
that's cool.
they started their winter season last week, and so
Very cool.
I get to go watch him shoot trap every week, which is really fun because it's something that I am really terrible at.
That's something that I want to try more. I've never tried at a real range where they have good throwers. It's the okay, throw it, and you're lucky if they throw
Yeah.
something that's even remotely targetable.
Trap is like interesting because it throws it from like a bunker in front of you.
Yeah,
And so it's a little bit farther. So you either have to be like really fast
yeah,
or really accurate.
yeah.
Well,
Or both.
in the Spanish Fork range, I guess, is world renowned. From what
Really?
I understand, it's one of the best ranges to be. Like people want to go compete there because just the way it's set up, they have real grass and it shoots over the city pretty much.
Oh, nice.
It's just really neat setup.
Huh.
It's cool. I like it. So if you get a chance, and it's actually only like $8 or something to go
I'm
shoot
gonna
a round of
I'm
trap.
gonna remember. And how many like stages or whatever are there in a?
Oh, for trap. So
So like if you for your $8, what are you getting? How many?
So you're
how many rounds
25
are you-
clays.
Okay.
So you shoot.
And are you in the same place or are you moving to different places?
So at the trap range, there's 5 different spots. So
Okay.
you shoot 5 from each. You shoot 5, and then you move. Yeah. So and then there's
Okay.
usually 5 shooters.
Yeah, yeah.
So you all shoot, and then you are all. It doesn't seem like it'd be a big deal to move from one spot to the next.
is,
It's
yeah.
amazing how hard it is once you're comfortable with where you are.
Yeah.
You figure it out, and then they're like, "Okay, time to move," and you're like, "Oh."
So which position is the hardest for you to shoot?
I think on the far right, going left.
Okay.
Because
yes.
usually it comes out and you got to shoot kind of.
Yeah,
it's not a righty. So
that was the
for
one
me-
that I struggled with. And so you go to the far right, and then they fling it the other way.
Yeah.
And the way, I don't know, something about it
Yeah.
is tough.
And if the wind catches it, trying to follow it. And
I've always wanted to do sporting clays. Have you ever done that?
I have done sporting clays out at Wasatch when you clay in Eagle Mountain or Cedar Fort, whatever that is
Okay.
out there. And I hit like 5 out of the 50 or whatever. It's really, really hard. So, because it's more hunting based.
Right.
So you get like the little ground
The
rabbits.
ones, yeah, the ones that
Yeah,
are
the
rolling
rabbits.
across the
I could not
ground.
hit
and-
those.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was doing that one, and the rabbit hit a rock, and it like jumped up in the air, and I was like, whoa. It's like a little trickier.
it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's very challenging, but
You got to be fast with
Fast.
that one.
Yeah. All right. Good times. John?
I was going
Oh,
to say.
we're not done with
So
Rael.
with your son doing that competition, right? Do you reload your shot shells, or
No.
do you just have to go to buy them
Sunday-
in bulk?
Yeah, we just buy in bulk, and we through the team we can get
Okay.
because the whole team orders it, so we can get a better price
Oh,
because
yeah.
we buy them from the team,
Probably-
and then we get sponsors to pay for his entry fees and all of that
that's
kind of
cool.
stuff. So
Very cool.
yes,
That's exciting.
Well, now that SIG has offered their 17-round magazines for their 365 series.
For $10 more than they're already too expensive.
Well, yeah, so you got to dig deep in your pockets for those. Well, we decided to go ahead and get a half a dozen of them because,
You never know.
You never know. You never know. So tomorrow I get to go try them out. So I'm really excited
nice.
about
Oh, that's good.
Are you running them in a regular P365, the XL, the
that.
X?
It is actually kind of it's the fancy version of the 365. It's the Spectre.
Oh.
It's the Battle Worn
Wow.
finish, though.
Oh.
So I'm not all about the bling, so I didn't go with the gold and black. No offense to anybody that's about bling. It's just not me.
Okay.
So
Very cool. All right. Well, that's everything, right? Other than we can go into our topic now, right?
Yes.
I almost got lost in the show. I didn't know where we were. So, Cindy and Rael are here to talk about the DC project and Girl and a Gun. And we have talked about Girl and a Gun a little bit before on the show, but it's been a long time. So maybe let's start there, and then we can just kind of what's Girl and a Gun about. If people are in the area and want to get involved, how do they do that? And then we'll jump into DC project and go from there.
Great. A Girl and a Gun is basically an organization of women that get together to shoot. We're just like-minded women.
Yeah.
And so we have 2 chapters in Utah. We have the Salt Lake chapter, which I'm the facilitator for, and we have a Central chapter, which is more down south in the Mona area.
That's Connie Brooks.
That's Connie
runs
Brooks,
that one. We
yes.
know Connie. She's one of our favorite people.
Yeah, so I run the Salt Lake chapter, and a few of the things we have coming up is we've got a class tomorrow night called the legal use of force,
Oh, okay.
and
Cool.
kind of talk about what happens.
Yeah.
What's that prosecutor going to say when you have to use your firearm for your defense? What
Yeah.
are they going to look at? Then we have a turkey shoot coming up
Okay.
on November 14th, and then we're going to do a mini mock match. Girl and a Gun does quarterly matches nationwide, so it's a nationwide match, and we're going to start doing them at our chapter in January. So we're going to do a mock match.
And is this the type of thing where you're competing with the other groups nationally, or just okay?
Yes,
Very
yes.
cool.
and you
I
can
like
win.
that.
I think do they give you a gun if you win? I don't remember, or money or something.
There's money. There's a pot of money
Yeah.
that you could win.
Wow. Is it at the
Pot of
end of a
gold.
rainbow? Very cool.
And I know the Central chapter, they're doing, tomorrow they're going to have a Zoom meeting with Gabby Franco. I don't know if you know who that is. She was an Olympic shooter for Venezuela and then
Very
came to
cool.
America, became American citizen, and now shoots 3-gun. She's also a member of the DC Project.
Okay.
And then later this
She
month,
works with Walter.
yeah, she's sponsored by Walder. So
Okay.
and then later this month, Connie set up a thing to do Vertra training in Lehigh at the Sheriff's Vertra Center up there. So it's all virtual reality.
Okay.
And they use laser guns.
The training.
Yeah, so it's like a 320 type
Yeah.
thing, and they do
It's
scenarios.
like a room you go into and it projects everything and
Yep,
records
so-
it. Yeah, I've heard about those.
So she got that set up for
That
her
is
chapter, and
super cool.
So it'll be
How often do you guys meet?
Twice a month.
Twice a month. Okay. Very cool. What does it cost for somebody to join the group?
It's $50 a year for a membership fee.
That's nothing.
And you get amazing discounts with it. Even if I wasn't a part of a Girl and a Gun, I would still pay my membership just to keep the discounts that I receive.
Yeah.
well, you can get discounts on guns, all sorts like CZ.
I give you guys a discount.
Glock, yeah. I mean, so lots
That's
of,
right.
and like the only other fee is the range fees. So you just pay your range fee to get in, and
Right. And do you when you meet twice a month, are you shooting every time, or sometimes is it more just like class education type of stuff?
We kind of mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
In January, we'll be shooting both times. December, we're going to have a little Christmas party, so we'll be shooting one time. November, we're only shooting once.
Okay.
But it could be either shooting or it could be self-defense, self-awareness, just different types of classes as well.
Yeah.
So how many ladies do you have involved with your chapter? the Solid
I have
chapter?
63 members in my chapter.
Wow.
And what kind of range of experience do they have? Like, are some of them new to guns, or are they competitors, or what kind of people?
I have both.
I
I've
was gonna
got
say
brand
yes.
new ladies that have never shot a gun before and never even seen a gun shot before, and was very surprised when a casing came out and hit her. I have some that are competitive shooters as well.
Yeah. Just my experience with the group, from people that have come into the shop and everything. Yeah, there's the age range is very broad, the skill level is very broad, and you've got some that are running real high end gear, and there's some that are like, I'm just getting into this and I just need the basics, and it's a place where it doesn't matter where you're at, you fit in.
Exactly.
And
It's a
really
sisterhood.
cool. Yeah, it's really cool because a lot of women I know are maybe a little more self-conscious about going into a gun shop, and it's a very testosterone-filled environment, and it can be intimidating, I guess. I think even for other guys it can be intimidating, but
A lot of women, they learn from their husbands who
Right.
maybe have been shooting for years, and they're maybe not even shooting correctly.
Right.
You know, they don't have the proper grip
Yeah.
or the proper stance. They just know that this is how I've done it all my life.
that's
And-
don't teach your spouse how to shoot. That's the worst.
Exactly. And it's kind of nice when you get these women that come in and really don't have a preconceived
Yeah.
way of shooting, and so you can actually educate them and teach them the proper ways, and they're like, it's like, wow, this is amazing, because I would never do it correctly with my husband.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's kind of a fun experience for
Yeah.
me as a chapter leader, as well as the women that are gaining the confidence in themselves.
Yeah, it's really cool. One thing that I've noticed, so I coach mountain bike kids, high school kids, and it's the same with shooting. Women will listen and take instruction where the guys don't. And you guys, for whatever reason, you can take that instruction and put it into use, I think, quicker than most guys can. And I see that on that bike practice, as well as when I've worked with people shooting. It's, you explain it to them, they go, okay, and they do it that way. Whereas you get the same instruction to a guy, or I get that same instruction, it's like, yeah, okay, I know how to do it. I already know that.
I kind of compare it to women in cooking and using recipes and following the instructions, where guys are like, I'm just going to throw it together.
Yeah.
You know, and see what comes out.
We don't need instructions.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've shot with a lot of guys who are, you could tell that they don't shoot often,
Yeah.
and you don't know, you could see that they're doing something wrong, right?
Right.
But you want to help them, but you don't want to be like
You don't want
that guy.
You don't want to bruise their ego.
Yeah. I took a group shooting, this was like a couple of years back, and there were all these different guys, ages, I don't know, early 20s on up to whatever, like old guys. And these two young guys were shooting an old Mosin Nagant, and they were just sailing the bullets over the target, like shooting way too high, like 5 or 10 feet above the target. And they're just, one guy was kind of spotting for him, like, okay, you need to aim lower and aim a little bit lower. And I walk over there, and I asked, I could tell they had their sight shoved all the way forward, so it was set to whatever it is, like
800 yards or something like that.
800 meters or like 1,800 meters. I don't know, whatever it was. But I was like, hey, can I try something with that gun real quick? And they're like, yeah, it's just not shooting very good. So I grabbed it. I pulled the sight back and then took a shot at the 100-yard, hit it, and then took a shot at the 300-yard and hit it. And it's like, gun shoots fine. This sight right here, those numbers on there, that's like meters.
Yeah.
And so, anyways,
Nice.
guys will do everything they can before they ask for help.
Yep. It's true. It is true. Well, very cool. So if somebody wants to get involved with Girl and a Gun, how do they do that?
they can go on the website at girlandagun.org. They can look up the Salt Lake chapter or the Central chapter.
Okay. And it
We're
doesn't
also
matter.
on Facebook. They can find us on Facebook under Girl and a Gun Salt Lake.
Utah Central or Central Utah. I can't remember what it's under. So
Cool.
But once you're a member, you can go to any chapter.
Okay, that was
It just
going to be my
transfers,
next
yeah.
question.
You can go to any event.
Very cool.
So if you're a member of the Central Utah, you can go to the Salt Lake events, vice versa.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, that's
If
cool.
I want to go to Florida and go to one of their events, I can do that as well.
Oh,
That's
okay.
really cool.
Now, does A Girl and a Gun have chapters like in how many states? Like all 50 or?
They do not have them in all 50 states, but they do have quite a few chapters. And I couldn't even tell you how many chapters they have, but it's hundreds.
Yeah, their home base is out of Texas. That's where it started.
Okay.
And they probably have 100 chapters just in Texas.
Wow.
Well,
but-
Texas is big, you know.
But it's all over the country. They do a big conference every year in Grand Junction, Colorado, and they bring anybody who wants to go can sign up and go. It's 4 days long, and we had women from Maryland who normally don't even get to shoot certain guns, right, because
Yeah.
of the laws.
Oh, yeah.
Come out and they get to shoot all sorts of fun things. So they do a helicopter shoot where you can get in a
wow.
helicopter and shoot, and
Nice.
it's really cool.
Sounds like
They
it.
do it upright.
They do.
They
Nice.
definitely take care of the women when they're out there. And last year I think we had 600 women, and this year they raised it, or maybe it was 550 last year, and this year we're at 650.
Wow.
And it's sold out. It sold out within hours of
Oh, wow.
registration.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's really cool. Well, they're onto something.
And you know me, Jason. Every time I go to the conference, I buy a gun right before I'm leaving, and you gotta make me a holster.
My favorite was it last year before conference? Somebody would call me, hey, I need a drop leg and I need this. I'm like, okay. Literally hours after they would leave with their new holster, the phone would ring. Oh, I just saw so-and-so's holster and I need one of those too. And I was seriously up to the week before conference, I was getting calls for holsters and I was banging them out as fast as I could to get them ready. But it was cool. It was really fun. So let's talk about the DC Project.
Well, the DC Project is a nationwide organization of women committed to safeguarding our Second Amendment.
Cool.
We work on a federal and on a state level with our legislators.
Okay.
And go ahead.
Well, I know you are very active locally. You were the one that gave us the heads up on the air gun hunting bill that passed, or before it passed. And so, which was funny because I called the guys over at Utah Air Guns and they didn't even know.
Really?
He'd been working on it with them, but he didn't know that it had advanced to that point yet. So he was in a panic, looking it up, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, I've actually, Rael and I, in September, we actually met with our legislators to plan out this next session to see what bills we're going to run.
Oh.
And kind of on a ground level. And it was kind of interesting. We found out something that if you have a felony, you can own a muzzle loader,
Yeah.
but you cannot hunt.
Really?
Yeah.
That's just the kind of bills that they're working on right now because it doesn't make sense.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because if you can own one, but you can't
that needs
hunt,
to be
yeah.
fixed one way or the other.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Anything else that's coming down the?
I'm trying to think. They were talking the one only because I'm going to be flying here in a couple days. They were talking about people who get their guns who forget or accidentally go through security.
With it.
Well, you get your gun taken away and
Yeah.
you don't get it back. So they were talking about maybe passing some kind of bill where you can take it back if you parked, you can take it back to your car instead of them confiscating it. Because if it's a true mistake,
Yeah.
people who carry every day.
Yeah.
My husband gets up. That's the first thing he puts on
Right.
in the morning. When he gets up, he puts his gun on.
He's walking around in his underwear.
I guess after he puts his pants on, right? But, so I thought that was a really interesting thing. That's something I didn't even really think about,
Yeah.
but that they're working on. Was it Jordan Tusher was working on, they did an ADHD bill last year that said if you're on ADHD meds and you're taking it correctly, that you can't get in trouble for carrying a firearm because it's a controlled substance. And it's illegal to use a firearm or have firearms when you're on controlled substances. So he was
Interesting.
they passed that bill last year, and then they're working on expanding it a little bit more this year
Okay.
for some other, what was it?
So
Do you remember?
with last year's bill, I was actually able to testify both in the House and in the Senate on that bill in the committee, and it was kind of fun to see that it got passed.
Yeah.
But he wants to add to that bill, and there are several different prescriptions that are controlled substances that would prohibit somebody from being able to carry their firearm.
Yeah.
One being testosterone.
Oh, that's right.
Oh.
So law enforcement, I
Interesting.
mean, if you think about how many law enforcement officers take testosterone, it is a lot.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because of their schedules, so like it's one of those things that I feel like almost every cop I know, which is quite a few, they're all on testosterone.
Yeah.
And I mean, technically, it would be illegal for them to carry because it's a controlled substance.
And so when we think of a controlled substance, we all automatically go to like the narcotics.
Right.
But that's not what we're talking about.
No, these are like everyday drugs that people.
That would have
Like
no effect on your
prescriptions.
judgment with a firearm or things like
Right.
that.
Exactly.
Except maybe the testosterone.
I mean, if you're taking it correctly, hopefully you don't get the roid rage. Right?
Okay, well that's really cool. Nationally, is there anything that that DC Project has got their sights on that they're working on?
Well, we actually released a video today about going and voting.
Okay.
And, making sure that you know what your candidates are standing for.
Yeah.
And making sure that they are Second Amendment friendly.
Yeah. What's frustrating, and this is like, it used to be, at least in my mind, that our politicians nationally were just in it for themselves and, self-serving and not so much the constituents and the people that they're supposed to be serving. It's all the way into like our city councils now. It's
It
so
is.
bad. It's so frustrating to me. And people vote not really knowing what they're voting for. And that's I think just makes the problem even worse.
Well, and I also heard there's like this huge statistics of people that will like vote for your main candidates and then they do not finish voting the rest of the ballot.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the ones that have the most impact on your lives too.
Yeah.
The local
Oh yeah.
politicians.
Yeah.
And one of the other things too is usually the people on top, they come from down low.
Oh,
so
yeah.
They start out as city council and then go up
They learn to be corrupt locally. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have a very good outlook on politicians. So what you guys are doing is awesome. I don't know that I could do it at the level you guys are. I wouldn't have the patience.
Well, we actually, with the DC project, just got back in September. We had 138 meetings with our legislators in DC,
Okay.
both House and Senate. We had friendlies and non-friendlies that we visited with, and our visit was actually pretty impactful. We
Good.
had great visits with both sides of the parties.
Good. Do you feel like because you're a women's group that it has I'm not going to say a better impact, but is the impact different because you're women as opposed to if me and Taco were up there and had our group going rah rah we love guns?
Well, us women aren't on testosterone. And so we have the stories that we want to share.
Yeah.
We're not women that have been attacked. We've been beat. We've been raped. We've been followed, stalked, whatever our situation is that women tend to have happen to them because of our size and our sex. And we are able to say we need to be equal to our attackers.
Yeah.
And the firearm is what does that to us.
Yeah.
And so we have the different stories that we can share. And so it's not like we're coming in there and going, we demand our Second Amendment rights.
Yeah.
Instead, we're like, I was followed.
Yeah.
And I had a stalker that was stalking me. And now I need to be able to protect myself in the event that he continues to stalk me.
Yeah.
We had a lady that was with her husband. They were in a bar. They were doing karaoke. That was their business. They did karaoke in bars. It was a gun-free zone. They weren't allowed to have their firearm in there, so she left her firearm in her car. She had a stalker that was coming to those karaoke nights. And that particular
Was she
night,
aware of the stalker at the time, or
they were aware that he was coming regularly, but
Okay.
they didn't realize the intent of
Right.
why he was coming regularly. And he ended up opening fire and shooting her husband right in front of her.
Oh
Oh,
gosh.
And
geez.
she couldn't defend herself.
Yeah.
And these are the stories that we have,
Yeah.
that we share.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a very good point. It makes me wonder why the gun industry is so male heavy when you would think that it would be the other way around, because like you said, you need more of an equalizer than some of the guys do.
Well,
right?
It's so funny. I hear all the time that, my husband will protect me.
Yeah.
But you're not with your husband all the time.
Yeah.
Like, when you go to the grocery store, I mean, maybe some women's husbands go with them often.
Yeah.
I mean, mine, it's usually like you watch the kids while I go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You're doing those things on your own.
Right.
Who's going to protect you?
Yeah.
I took some classes, some rad women's classes, which are like a self-defense
Right.
thing. And they talk about how even like asking, like screaming and asking for help, a lot of times people aren't going to help. They're just
Yeah.
going to pull their phone out.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, I am a tiny person, and if somebody came and attacked me, a man, like, even if I was like some black belt, in karate, or,
Yeah.
did whatever, the chances of me being able to fight that person off, if they really wanted to hurt me,
Right.
is going to be almost zero.
Yeah.
And so that's where a firearm comes in. I mean, that's the great equalizer right there. And
Right.
so,
For sure. Well, and in our news stories and stuff that we've been reading over the years, there's lots of stories of elderly men and women that some of them had never even fired a gun before, but had it for self-protection and used it effectively to protect themselves. And so there's a lot of talk in the industry with whether you should require training or not for concealed carry and stuff like that, or for owning a gun. And as much as I believe if you own a gun you should get trained,
Absolutely.
I don't think it should be required because of that. Because there are some people that couldn't go through the training because of their physical ability or their age or whatever, but could still use it effectively if they had to. It's not an ideal situation, obviously, but I don't want to deny them that right either.
and so if I can share this, so I don't know if you heard last week or the week before of those kids in Wyoming that were attacked by the grizzly bear. They were out
heard briefly.
horn hunting.
Yeah.
So I went to
was
that
crazy.
college.
Wait.
I'm from Wyoming
Horn
originally.
hunting?
They were horn hunting.
I thought you said whore hunting.
Oh no.
You did mention a college also.
Yes.
So I was confused.
So in Wyoming, you can't carry on any of the public schools.
Okay.
Which is funny because they're a very gun-friendly state.
Right.
But that they don't share Utah's sentiment with letting you carry in
Right.
public schools. And so I went to this community college, great school. So these wrestlers went out horn hunting, and there was 4 of them. One of them carried bear spray. They separated. Then the one who got attacked, they didn't have the bear spray on them. And so, but if they would have been able to carry guns or have guns, but they couldn't because they lived in the dorms. You can't have guns in the dorms.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm thinking, if they would have been able to have their rifles or carry a gun, that could have saved their life.
Yeah.
Or he did not die. I
I was
but
gonna
I mean,
say-
he's very disfigured. His face
he
is very
got
messed up.
torn up from
Yeah.
the bear.
Yeah.
So he was there. The one that got attacked, his friend helped him, and then his friend ended up getting the brunt of the bear attack. So
Wow.
The bear left, and then it came back
Yeah.
to
Finish
try to
them.
finish him off.
get him
but,
again.
yeah.
Gosh.
But I mean,
Yeah.
they were being responsible, or they were trying to be.
Yeah.
They weren't out drinking. They weren't doing these things. They were out in the wilderness doing their own thing,
Right.
being good kids, and they had no way to defend themselves from a bear. I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
And that's, when I've been in the backcountry carrying and have, you meet people along the trail or whatever and have conversations, and the gun comes up and it's like, well, yeah, there's bears, there's cougars. But I said, if I'm being honest, I feel like if I ever do have to use it, it'll be on a 2-legged predator and not a 4-legged. But there's all kinds of situations.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they weren't in an area that prohibited them from having it, but where they lived made
Right.
it so that they couldn't.
And one of the kid that got attacked the worst was from Utah, and I don't know where his roommate was from, but where are they going to store it?
Yeah. We have a university like that here. And it's unfortunate. But, yeah. Okay, so you have an event coming up.
We do. We have an event coming up on November 18th. It is the Concealed Carry Solutions Expo. And part of our sponsor is going to be Concealment Solutions.
Yes. So tell us what the event is, what's its purpose, what can people expect when they go to this event?
Well, the main purpose for it is a fundraiser for the DC project
Okay.
to help pay our costs because we are the counter voice and counter visual to Moms Demand Action,
Yeah.
but we don't have the funding that they do. They're
Right.
a Bloomberg funded company.
Yeah.
So we get a little bit of money here and there, but we have, expenses because we travel to DC. We,
Right.
We have to go and testify in DC quite often. So as we're raising money for the DC project, we also want to educate our public and teach them the proper way of concealed carrying and being able to know that there's other ways to carry, not just concealed. But I know, Jason, you have a chest mount.
Yes.
And that might be something important for some people that are out hunting, right?
Yep.
And
It works in a lot of different scenarios.
So we want to showcase different types of holsters and options that, the general public can wear.
Cool. I think that's great. I know I've come to both Utah chapters of Girl and a Gun and taught a class on how to, one of my pet peeves with the gun industry, and I don't know why this is still so prevalent, especially with women, of buying your first gun and the guy behind the counter hands you a snub-nosed 357.
Oh. I shot one.
I have to say that I had
does
a
that still
38
happen,
special.
though?
That was my first gun. 38 special.
That's not much better
No,
than
and
the
I only shot it a few
357.
times, and I was like, "This isn't gonna work. I
Right.
need something else."
I
Right.
shot one last week, and it was like, holy crap.
They're not fun.
No.
And this, he carries a lightweight 357 mag. It's not fun to pull the trigger.
But I practice with it.
He's good with it, and,
And
so
I-
that,
and I-
that
I
makes a
did-
difference.
Add the larger grip so I
Yeah.
can get the whole hand on it.
Yeah, but so I've gone and I've taught classes for you guys on that very thing, on how to pick the right gun, how to pick the right holster, how to dress, how to, and with women it gets very complicated because most women, that'll come into my shop and they're usually with their husband and they're just getting into concealed carry and whatever, and it's, I'm like, they always want to carry in their purse, which...
If that's your only option,
If
that's what I always tell
it's
people.
better than leaving it at home, but not by a whole lot. But I talk about inside the waist and stuff like that. And once you get to, you're gonna have to buy bigger pants. No, I'll just die.
Exactly.
I'd
Women
rather
don't-
die.
Women
I
don't
think
want to
so.
change. They don't want to change their attire and
Yes.
what they wear.
So many things have come out now, though. I mean, like you can buy tactical leggings.
Yeah.
That already there's so many options now where you really don't have to change much.
Yeah.
Your shirts can't maybe be quite as tight as they used to
Yeah.
be, but
Here's the thing, and I talk to this about people all the time, men and women, is when you decide that you're gonna carry every day, it's a compromise. When you're carrying concealed, it's a compromise to one degree or another, and you just have to make the decision on how much you're willing to compromise and where you're not willing to compromise. And then that's where I come in and go, okay, if you're willing to do this but not that, then let's go in this direction. But you just have to understand there's going to be compromises,
Absolutely.
and if it wasn't, it was, you would have your AR-15 on your chest every day, and then you'd be ready for anything. Wouldn't be very comfortable. Getting in and out of the car might be a little more difficult, but my point is, it's you got to be willing to make some changes.
And there's options.
There's a lot of options.
And people need to be aware of those options.
Yeah,
And we'll be showcasing those at our show.
that's going to be really cool. Where is it going to be?
It's going to be at the Legacy Shooting Center in West Jordan,
Okay.
right off of 90th South.
And what
And-
date?
It is November 18th at 7 p.m.
And where does the fundraising come in? It costs to come to it.
Yes, there's a charge of $30.
Okay.
That is helping us to pay for our costs for hosting this.
Yeah.
And then hopefully there'll be some money left over to kind of continue to add into our fundraiser. We do have a donation going on right now, request if people would like to donate $10,
20.
20, 50, or $100.
Wait, is this going up?
20, 50, or 100.
Okay.
So you can get one ticket for $20,
Okay.
3 tickets for $50, or 7 tickets for $100. And with our drawing or with our donations that we're getting at this time, we're going to actually draw a winner out of that. and they're going to win an X5 Legion
Nice.
that's been donated to us by 6 Hour.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's makes me happy to hear that the industry's kicking in with some stuff to help out.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, that's easy for them. And I know you aren't the only people that they give guns to.
Right.
But still, that's what they should be doing as a manufacturer like that. If they want to stay in business, they got to make sure our rights are protected too, right?
Exactly.
So very cool. Anything else?
We are going to be at the Rocky Mountain Gun Show on November 13th. We'll have a booth. DC Project will be there along with a girl and a gun.
Okay.
We'll be accepting donations at that time for the gun drawing. You can go on dcproject.info.
Okay.
And that is our website where you can look up under shop, and you can find where you can donate there to be
Okay.
entered into the...
So you don't even have to be in the state.
No, because it's a certificate. So whoever wins, we'll just send the certificate out.
And then they
they
go
send it
through
into SIG. Yep.
Oh,
Very
that's a
cool.
cool way to do it.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier. So you don't have to be present to win.
Yeah.
Even though we want you to come.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And if you go to dcproject.info, say join now. And if you're in Utah, then all your information actually will come to me, and then I will contact you. With the DC Project, it doesn't cost anything to join,
Right.
but we're looking for members so that way we have information to go back to those that are giving us the funding and the guns and things like that to
Okay.
help us raise money for the DC Project.
And so if you join and become a member of DC Project, what does that mean for you as a member?
So I'm looking for women specifically.
Sure.
Men we can accept and they can be members as well. But for our women, we're looking for as little as being willing to write to your legislators.
Okay.
We'll let you know as the bills are coming out what information is important about those bills and
Right.
whether you are for it or against it. And then
Okay.
if you write to your legislators and let them know how you feel, they listen.
Okay. So it sounds like it's a really good way to keep, at least if nothing else, to keep current on what we need to be aware of with the...
yeah, Cindy is really great about keeping up on the bills, and then she sends out all the information of whatever bill's coming out or whatever is happening at the moment in session so that we all know. And then she'll be like, hey, this is important, you need to email. So then you really don't even have to think about it. She sends it out and says, email this person or email your specific person.
Yeah.
And then
So if
it's
somebody
pretty easy.
listening lives out on the East Coast and they get on there and they join, then it's not going to go to you necessarily.
Correct.
It'll go to whoever's the nearest director
Yeah.
of the
It'll go
DC
to their
Project.
state.
Yeah.
So we have state directors in all 50 states.
Okay.
Oh, wait,
cool.
did Biden say there was 54 states? We needed 4 more.
Yes.
You need to
State directors.
find those 4 more states. They're hidden.
We are trying to get more. We want to try to have someone represent every district in Utah.
Oh, okay.
It makes it a little bit easier so that you
Sure.
can email just your district people. And
Yeah,
so,
because not every law and everything that you're
Right.
dealing with is affecting every little
Right.
area.
and Utah has a lot of districts.
Yes. Was it like,
I don't know.
oh gosh,
I'm
last
64.
year I knew,
That's all I know.
So I think we
There's
have
a
like
lot.
72 districts or something. I can't remember exactly, but
Wow.
we have a lot for Utah.
Huh. That seems like a lot for Utah, where you think about how much of the state isn't even populated.
Yes,
Exactly.
Huh. Well, very cool. I'm glad that you guys are at the forefront and helping to fight the fight and doing all that. I'm excited about this show on the 18th and being part of that. That'll be fun. Yeah. Any questions before we sign off?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming. I know you drove quite a ways to be here.
I drove
Yeah,
from
thank
Spanish
you.
Fork, so not as far as her. But
I work in Layton, and so I drove all the way from Layton.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's a solid hour just to get here. So we appreciate it. It was fun talking to you guys. So let's, I guess we'll sign off.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Stay safe. Have fun.
Be nice to me.
Go vote.
That too. And after we introduce the episode, everybody has to cheer. that's just
For
what
real?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't want to be the only one to cheer. 'Cause I will cheer, but I don't want to be that guy. You know.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
All right.